we got this image we're going to make into a picture that the car can run into. So what I'm going to do is crop it to 1-to-1 ratio so that I can evenly um, make it power of 2 dividable by 2 or whatever. 1024 by 1024, for example. And I'll export it as, well, just keep things simple and just leave it as a PNG. I'll just, whatever level you're going to put it in, say like, uh, I'm in the wrong folder. Say small grid, for example. The way I do this, I just make a new folder, like, like, you know, to put the object in. Actually, I'll put the image in there too. Uh, Now that I think about this, this thing isn't. I guess you don't have to actually do it this way. I think trying to think the easiest way to do this, save the least amount of time. I'll just put the image on the desktop for now, and let the Blender put it in that folder. Alright. Then in Blender, I'll give it that image. Now, just name the material, what you're gonna name it. But I hadn't had any problems. I haven't had any problems with it exporting like it used to. I mean, I guess I didn't have power of 2 on my images and it wasn't able to read it. And let's see here, desktop. And you'll check your UV coordinates. So if you scale something, let's just bring in something from the game just to kind of get an idea of the scale. I mean, there's a measuring thing over here, but I'd rather just see for myself. Alright, so maybe make the image this size. I don't know, maybe a little larger. I don't know. So we scaled an item. We're going to apply all the transforms since we scaled it. Now I'm going to UV editor. Now what I'll do is I'll hold Z on the keyboard down so that this side will also show me a material preview. By holding Z, you pick material preview. So anyway, we're going to select this face here while we're in edit mode, so we can pick this face, and we'll say UV Unwrap. Now you may like, well, that's not the way I want it. Just hit A on the keyboard, and then R, and then hold Control key so you rotate it where you want it. Or you could rotate the object too. I mean, either way, you're basically doing the same thing. And then UV Unwrap. And these little top parts here, what I would just do is scale these down so they're just using the void on the side there. There's no image or anything, just that way it's not some little something there on the side and you can't tell what it is. But yeah, it's pretty easy to do here. So now we'll go back to the layout up here, and we're in object mode. We don't need this. And since we're going to make this a collision mesh, well, the easiest thing to do is not to do the other stuff and just manually add collision mesh in the game. I mean, so I'll stick to the easiest path. We'll just call this picture, and we'll export it as DAE, and the level in that folder we made like and small grid, art, picture. You can call the folder whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter. This don't matter what you call this. When you go to import it, you're gonna be looking for. Well, you're gonna be looking for what you saved the DAE as, whatever you save that DAE as. So let's go into the game now. And go into your world editor and go to asset browser and go to that folder, and you should be able to just drag and drop it into the game. Um, Now, since we didn't go the extra long route, making it have a collision mesh, just go into the inspector. It's just here in the inspector window if you don't have it open. With the item selected, tell collision type to be visible mesh final. And then rebuild your collisions. You can just simply drive into it to test it. It's one thing you can do. You should be able to rescale it too if you need to, by just rebuilding the collisions each time. Let me check the ground model debug. Yeah, see, it worked. And just rebuild collisions, every time you scale it. You also got options in the material. Now you can go down to the bottom and advanced right here, additional info, and you can change the ground type to the different types of ground. I'm not sure that you'd want to, but you got that option too. But that's pretty much it. You got other things you can do if you want it to be emissive or to glow, or there's a lot of things you could do with just a picture. That gives it a little reflection, like a glass picture frame. Now you may not like these normals. That just gives it an extra little 3D look. It's not really a real normal map. It's like a filter of a generic normal map, but yeah, just something you can do. You also, if you wanted to, You could take the image and see in your photo editor. You could get rid of the black background, for example. If I can select how much it'll let me select. Oops, wrong thing. That's not what I meant to do. Photoshop's got a, I believe, a better magic wand. Let's see. Image. Select feather. Maybe 3 pixels. Wait a minute. I forgot to add alpha channel. There we go. Maybe a little more feathering. I don't know, maybe 7? Feathering depends on, of course, resolution, how much feathering. I could just say now you could export this as another PNG in there, for example. And then in here, you just import the picture, a different picture, or the same picture rather, but just the other one with the transparent background, and then you can tell the alpha clip to alpha clip out the background. You also got the option to do like a lerp alpha, which is not using the same kind of, it has a, using an alpha, that kind of alpha allows you to have a softer edge feathering. You also can increase the, actually I think that's, this level's lighting is not great. I don't like the lighting in it. The image is bright enough, it's like it's just in this level, it's, I don't like the way the light is in here. It's almost like the image's normals are reversed. Let me check them. Nope, they're right. They're not inside out. I'm trying to think, I would just use the alpha clip. And you just adjust it. You can manually make the thing brighter by increasing the absolute RGB. I think like say 300. Now that'll brighten it. Maybe you have to do this. You don't want to do too much. Oops. And you're going to start losing your whites. But that's pretty much it. I can't think of nothing else to really add to this video. I'll get the image so that I'll save the file so that it can just go from any level to any level. You shouldn't have to worry about the texture not working on your level. Just have to edit this so that, alright, that'll work. That's what it's supposed to have on it, not a file location. So that should work in any level. We'll check it. We'll just move it to another one just to see. So we'll just copy this folder here, and then in the level, the Utah, just in the art folder here, and paste it. I put stuff in its own folders because, you know, it's got its own materials file. Unless you want to add that stuff to the other material file in a different folder, then that's just the easiest way to just transport things and not have to worry about it. Oh, the game's already running. I don't know what I'm thinking. Load Utah. See, that's too bright now. That's why I said you gotta be like, I think it's just that grid, man. That small grid map is just terrible lighting. You can also adjust this if you needed to adjust this. You can, manually adjust it. You can add color to it, or adjust the colors and whatnot, depending on what you're doing with it. Well, oh yeah, and don't forget, if you do this way, you have to, for each one you import in, you have to rebuild. You have to tell it to be visible mesh final, and then rebuild collisions for it to work. And of course, you could pretty much however you have this thing, you could pretty much drive on it or pretty much put it anywhere if you wanted to. But I think that's it. I'll just put this in a zip file and link it